Hey everyone, it's Shelby. I'm going to share this coconut layer cake with you guys as promised. There's 4 different components to it. There's the cake, there's the simple syrup, there's the lemon curd, and then the frosting. All right, enjoy. Okay, I'm getting ready to make this coconut cake, and I just wanted to share this with you. This is what I'm using. It's like a no brand name coconut cream. This has sugar in it. Probably the most popular or most recognizable version of this is called Coco López, and it's found in the liquor section of your grocery store. They use it for mixed drinks. It's not to be confused with just coconut cream in the can. I wanted to point that out because this has sugar in it and a bunch of other stuff. This is 22 ounces. This is just the brand that was available at my store. But yeah, probably Coco López. Critical ingredient to this cake. Okay, let's get started. I have the oven preheating at 350 degrees. I'm going to take my 3 cake pans and prepare them. I'm going to spray them with cooking spray. And then take some flour and dust the cake pan on the bottom and the sides. And then I'm going to put a cake round, either parchment paper or wax paper, in the bottom, spray it, and do the same thing. Add a little flour, and just kind of coat it. You really want to get these cakes out, so we're going to take every precaution. Okay, I'm going to do that with the other cake rounds. Now we have the cake pans ready to go. We'll start making the cake. We need 2 3/4 cups of flour. When you're baking, you want to make sure you have level measurements, because it's a chemical reaction. So there's 2 cups. There's a 1/2 cup. And a 1/4 cup. 1 teaspoon baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. Okay, that's the dry ingredients. I'm going to take my whisk and make sure everything gets well blended. In my mixing bowl, I have 1 cup of butter and 1 3/4 cup of sugar, and I'm going to get this on the mixing stand and start mixing this. Next, I'm going to add a cup of this, or if you have the Coco López, either one. Here's the butter and cream. I'm going to add the Coco López to it. I added the cream of coconut or the Coco López. Next, we're going to separate 4 eggs. We'll put the yolks in here and the egg whites in here. These are kind of small eggs. I might put 5. They're kind of small. The recipe calls for large. Yeah, I think I will. See, mine aren't too big. So 4 large or 5 small. To the mixer, we're going to start adding 1 egg yolk at a time. Let it completely incorporate. Add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now I'm going to alternate the dry ingredients, the flour, the baking powder, baking soda, salt mixture with a cup of buttermilk, and I'll alternate back and forth. I'll add a little bit of buttermilk. Then I'll add some of the dry ingredients. Add a little buttermilk and then some of the dry ingredients until both are completely incorporated. Look at that beautiful cake batter. But we're not done yet. Oh no. To the egg whites, I'm going to add a pinch of salt, and then I'm going to beat these egg whites until we get some stiff peaks. Now take your cake batter, and I'm going to take a dollop of this egg whites, start with that, and start folding it in to start lightening it up a little bit more. Just want to fold it in, so you just don't want to deflate the egg whites. Okay, I'm going to add the rest of these in. And get these folded into the batter. You can already feel the batter getting lighter. So just keep working on it. Take your time. Get the egg whites folded in. That looks great. Now we're just going to evenly divide the batter between the 3 cake pans into the oven, and it's going to take between 30 and 40 minutes. You're just going to have to keep an eye on it. You can kind of tell when they're done. When you kind of touch the middle, it springs back, or you put a toothpick in it, it comes out clean. So into the oven. To make a simple syrup, I just added a 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to bring this to a boil. When it's clear, I'm going to turn it off and let it cool, and then I'm going to add a teaspoon of coconut extract to this. After it comes to a full boil, turn it off, and we're going to let it cool. The simple syrup has cooled. I'm adding a teaspoon of coconut extract. In my bowl, I have 1½ cups of sugar, 1/2 cup of butter, and I'm going to start zesting some lemons in here and then juicing them until I get 1/2 cup of lemon juice. But I'm just going to zest the lemons right into the sugar. That smells so good, so fresh and clean. And then now I'm going to juice the lemon in here until I get 1/2 cup. Okay, on to the next one. And I'm just going to repeat this until I have enough lemon juice. I don't know if it'll take 2 or 3 lemons, but something like that. It took 3 lemons to get the half a cup of lemon juice. It's just going to depend on how juicy your lemons are. I'm going to get the mixer and get the butter and zest and sugar all mixed together. Now we're going to add 4 large eggs one at a time and mixing well after each. Now we're going to add that half a cup of lemon juice and just a pinch of salt. We'll get this mixed. That's what it's going to look like. We're going to get it into a saucepan. Next, you're going to cook this in a saucepan, stirring constantly for 10 minutes. You want the temperature to get to 175, and don't overcook it because it'll curdle. After 10 minutes, it starts to thicken. That's when I put the thermometer in. And then when it gets thick enough that it's going to coat the back of a spoon, that's a good sign. And I wait until I see like one little pop like that come up. I know it's done. You can test it with the thermometer, but you just don't want to go higher than 175. I'm going to take the lemon curd and put it in a bowl. And then you'll want to take some plastic wrap and put on top of it, so as it cools you don't get a skin on it. So just put the plastic wrap right on the surface of the lemon curd. All right, I got the lemon curd done and the cake's done, and I just want to let them cool thoroughly. Then I'm going to get the lemon curd in the refrigerator as soon as it cools down a little bit. To make the cream cheese frosting, I have 2 8-ounce cream cheese, a half a cup of softened butter, a half a cup of this, the secret ingredient, the Coco López, teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm going to get this on the mixer, mix it up, and then start adding the powdered sugar. Okay, I added 2 cups of powdered sugar. We're going to start getting this mixed. That looks so good. You want it just like that, light and fluffy. Okay, we're going to start getting the cake put together. Turn each of the cake layers upside down, remove the parchment paper, and then brush on 1/3 of the simple syrup to each of the cake layers. Top 2 of the cake rounds with half of the lemon curd. After you cover 2 layers with the lemon curd, the most important thing you're going to do is take these 2 layers and place them in the freezer for about 60 minutes. You really want this to set up, because if you skip this part of it, the cake is going to slide all around. It's going to be really hard to put together. I've learned this through trial and error. Just put it in the freezer for 60 minutes and then you can proceed to assemble the cake. It'll make your life so much easier. Okay, after you have it set in the freezer for an hour, it goes together really easy and it's not going to slide all together. So I'm going to get the top one on and start putting the frosting on it. Okay, after you get the frosting all on it, you're going to take coconut, shredded coconut, and press it all over it. The second thing I do is I cover the cake with plastic wrap just kind of loosely and put it in the refrigerator to set up for 4 hours, and then take it out an hour or so before you want to serve it, and then you can slice the cake and it is delicious. Well, that's the coconut layered cake recipe. But don't skip the steps for putting the layers in the freezer, the two that have the lemon curd, and then refrigerating the cake for about 4 hours, and then taking it out about an hour before you want to serve it, because it'll really set the cake. Because it's just do it, trust me on this one. All right guys, well, I hope you give it a try, maybe for Easter, and it is delicious. It really truly is. Okay, until the next video, I'll talk to you guys later.
'Cause this is our time, this is our life. Sometimes all you need is a smile to get by.